Hi, it's Amanda, the urban farmer. So we're getting ready to plant. We've got some corn, we've got some carrots, so we're gonna put directly in the ground, and then we're gonna put our seedlings in. So I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do as we get food in the ground outside. Hi, it's Amanda here. So we're gonna start planting, and the first thing we're gonna be doing is the carrots. So what I've done is I have a section here, so in between my cucumber trellis and my tomatoes, for the Roma tomatoes, I've dug a little trench. So these carrots, it's your garden blend carrots. They are supposed to be 1/8 inch deep, so I've just done a very shallow little trench here, and then 2 inches apart is what it says on the package. So I've already done my little, just use my little dare here, got a very shallow little space, and then I'm just going to put in my seeds 2 inches apart. So I'm putting my phone just off to the side here so you could kind of follow along. We don't want to really overdo it, but we're just going to do like every couple of inches. We're going to put some seeds in. I'm just sprinkling them in. Nothing fancy. We're not, you know, professionals here. This is me being in my backyard doing whatever. Not even doing like, oh, this is 2 inches exactly. I'm just seriously coming in here and sprinkling in some seeds. So, okay. Some of these are gonna take, some of them might not. So we're gonna just make sure we have some throughout the trench. And then put this back. It fell over. So I have them in the trench. And then we're going to just, I'm going to put my gloves back on, at least a glove. And then I'm just going to bring the dirt back over here, kind of throughout. I'm using this to kind of just gently make sure I'm covering. Don't want to go too crazy. So if you look, it's kind of like a mixture what I have here. We've got dirt with some peat moss and some manure. We blended it last fall, so it had all winter to kind of sit here, get the nutrients in. So this is just still that mixture. We had kind of turned it up a little bit, and now I'm just pushing it in. And then because I've got a little Gus that's allergic to carrots, I'm gonna start this up here already, that way I'm used to it. I'm gonna use a couple pieces of rebar to kind of stick it, make sure it stays upright, but that'll keep him from wandering back here. And we've got carrots in the ground. So that's exciting news. And I'm also gonna do the corn. So I'm gonna start digging up for my corn also. Hi, so we are looking at where I'm gonna be putting the corn. So this is the corn flower bed, or garden bed. And what I've done is I've actually already started digging the holes. We're going to be putting in this sweet corn. It's a yellow hybrid, so it's one that tolerates some cooler weather. So even though we're actually the week before Mother's Day, it's supposed to be, the lows will be the 47 at night, but we're not supposed to have any more frost. And so it's probably a good time to go ahead and plant and get these started, since they do take a little bit long time to come to maturity. I came through and I had marked earlier, so I marked off where my rows should be. So like I have the rows going all the way down, and then I had come on each side and made these 12 inches apart. So you can see I have these markings here, which is where I'm going to be putting the corn. So where I have the circle marking is where the corn's going. We're going to pull out this little piece of grass. So for each of my holes, I've gone in and I have added 2 kernels to each. So I still have one last one to put them in. These are about inch down, which is what you want for corn. And we do 2 kernels. I remember doing that when I was a kid and I was helping my grandpa. Putting 2 kernels in just means that we are giving it just one of them should take for each hole, so you do a couple. Some people even do like 3 or 4. So I do a couple. That's what my grandpa used to do, so I'm just gonna kind of follow in the ways of my grandpa. And then we're going to just cover them up with our glove. Bye, corn. Next time I see you guys, you are going to be big stalks. I'm just tapping that in. So it's supposed to maybe lightly rain tonight. I'm going to come back out in a little bit and give these guys some water. But just want to get them in the ground, get it started. It was 82 degrees so during the day today. So it's time to get started. We shouldn't have any more like surprise winter weather. If we do, I'll come out here with some plastic and just kind of cover these guys up, keep them good. But we have corn in the ground. Super exciting. So what I've done is I've come through and I have put all of the seedlings where they're going to go, so you can get an idea of placement. I haven't put any in the ground yet. You can see here we have our strawberries, and that's also where we're going to end up putting some of the broccoli. Kind of interspace it in around the strawberries that are coming in. You can look at my strawberries here. You can see that we actually have some strawberries starting to form. First we have the flowers, which you can see here, but then as it forms, the flower petals fall off, and then you can see the actual little strawberry bud starts to come through. So those are going to start populating some strawberries here soon, but as we're waiting, we're going to get our broccoli in place. Next we've got, this is where the potatoes are, and you can see we do have a lot of potato plants sprouting. So this is fantastic. That means that, you know, in a couple of months we're going to be able to come in here and have potatoes from our garden. And I'm also going to put a parsley here. So it's kind of interesting. It's a herb that does well with potatoes as a taste, but also it plants really well with potatoes too. So get it there to grow. And then I also, when I was at the nursery, I got a sweet potato plant. So I'm going to plant that guy here in the corner. I've got one of my potatoes actually, potato sprouting, but I'll be able to put the sweet potato over here and maybe we can grow some sweet potatoes. It actually does very well as a companion plant to regular potatoes. The only thing to be cautious about is they're both susceptible to the same type of like diseases and insects and stuff. But I kind of want to keep all my potatoes together, so I'm going to take a chance. Next up, we have, this is going to be cucumber here. So you can see my cucumber plants are coming in really well, really strong. So we're going to plant those here with the trellis that we had brought in here a couple weeks ago. Then I'm going to do cauliflower in a row. These I had gotten from the nursery, actually two different ones. So you can see they're kind of okay. I don't know, I seem to do better with some of my plants that I grow from seed sometimes. So maybe next year we'll make an effort and grow these from seed too. Next, this is where we have the carrots planted, so we're not going to bring anything new in here. I don't think that's a carrot sprout. That might be a weed, but this is my first year doing carrots, so I'm not entirely sure, so we're going to leave it. Then we have our tomatoes. Sorry. So with the tomatoes, we're going to have Roma tomatoes and cherry tomatoes. So I have both of those in here in their sections, ready to plant. Then over here, which is where we have the onion and garlic that's been coming in so strong, we're going to be putting in basil and then zucchini. So we actually have a lot in this little section, but the garlic we will be harvesting here in a month, which is while the zucchini is still small. So we'll plant that here, and then once the garlic comes out, the zucchini kind of takes over this back half here, which is fine. Then we'll have space for it because the garlic's going to be out of there. We don't have anything new coming in over here. This is where we have that strawberry and blueberry again. I do have some netting that I've put up because I'm trying to protect it from any birds. And then over here, we've got pumpkin, which you can see my pumpkin seed. And then we've got the butternut squash and the acorn squash. So both of these I ended up getting from a nursery because I couldn't get my butternut squash to grow. And then when I was there, I liked the look of the acorn squash, so I'm like, why not do both? Next, we have where we're going to have our lettuce and spinach and kale. So I'm going to do a row of spinach. I have 3 seedlings that have come up for spinach. I've got 2 for the romaine lettuce, 2 for kale, and then 2 for the bib lettuce. So we're gonna bring those in. I might start some other lettuce inside just so that way I can start growing some of those. Then we've got the beans, which will be here in the front, with green beans and a black bean. And then we've got the peas are gonna be in the very back. And then the corn, which I planted a few days ago now, and I have that in the video earlier. So this here, we don't see anything yet. And I'm probably very impatient and looking at it way early because I'm like, where is my corn? It's a little bit early for it to actually be sprouting anything, but coming soon. Alright, so what we're going to do is plant some of the broccoli first. And the ones that I did from inside, you can see I've got these cups. These are, they kind of disintegrate as the plants are growing. So I can plant these directly into the ground. So over here in my strawberry section is where I'm going to be putting the broccoli. I'm going to kind of space them out with the with where we have stuff already. So just going to be digging big enough that these can go in. These pots we want to get in the ground, and we actually want to get them to the point that they're covered. So all I'm going to do is dig a little bit and then put it in. We're going to take some of that dirt. Oh, we got some worms. Kind of put it around it. And we want this guy to be sunken in a little bit. Probably dig a little bit deeper for my other ones. There we go. All I'm doing is getting these in the dirt. These cups are great because they're kind of low maintenance. Like I said, they disintegrate along the way. Kind of add some extra to the garden. Okay, that's one in. So take a little look here. This guy's in. He's a little sad because he just got pushed around a little bit, but we'll let him grow again. And then we've got another one over here, so I'll do this one next. Got these cement blocks, so I just kind of use those to walk on. Trying not to walk on stuff, but sometimes it happens. Okay, I'm gonna dig another hole. Just set this guy in the ground. Oh, another worm. Worms are great for the garden. So, I know it's like, ew, but also, yay. Okay. That guy's far enough in. A whole bunch of worms over here. It's fantastic. Repositioning some of the dirt around that cup. What I dug out. Hey, little worm, you're gonna go back over here. Help my broccoli grow. There you go, dude. Okay. So this guy, got in the ground a little bit more. You can see my little worm kind of squirming around. I'll just kind of set him over here so we can go back in. So this is all I'm going to be doing for the next little bit. Just trying to get some of these in the ground. So we'll just stop this for a little bit while I work. Alright, we're just going to keep going for a little bit. I'm going to keep putting some of these in the ground. Let you watch along the way. So this one here is the sweet potato. I had gotten this at a nursery, so it comes in a little pot we got to take out. And we're just going to put him in the ground, get him nice and buried as well. Love sweet potato fries. Also, we sometimes cook them in the oven. Add a little butter, brown sugar. Fantastic little guys. All right. And then I'm just starting a collection of these little pots here. And we're just going to continue down the line. Alright, next up, we've got cucumber. Alright, I want to get these close to where I put in my bracing for them to attach to. The hope is that it climbs. That's what we want. last year these stayed kind of against the ground a little bit more, which means I had, as the cucumbers were coming in, they were leaning against the ground. That's not what you want. You want them to climb. Okay, that. Come up here. Take a little bit. This guy in. This here has 2 pots, or 2 vines growing. So I'm going to try to connect it, one to here, one to there, and see if we can get them to climb up. So about right here would be a good spot. We did this with a mixture of like peat moss and black dirt and some fertilizer. Put it in last fall, but it's still nice and crumbly and moves with us. So this is actually a really good combination. My plants have all grown very well with this, so hopefully we can continue this year. All right, next up we have the cauliflower. I'm going to go ahead and put this one. This we had purchased at the store. I'm just going to dig a hole. Right here should be good. Over here is where we put the carrots. So I'm going to give a little bit of space between this and the carrots. Doesn't have to be too much. Okay. Weeds went a little limp in between when I picked this up and now. We'll bring it back. I hope. Okay. This guy in. Okay. He's got some nice cover. Then back up. Hopefully we're not stepping on anything. And da-da-da, we got another one to put in. Let's see. The other guys have kind of intertwined together. Let me see if that's the case for this, or if I have separate ones. I hope I have separate ones, because I want them to be spaced a little bit. Oh, they kind of intertwined. I'm gonna break them up, and hopefully these don't get damaged. We'll keep these 2 together. I don't want to break them up too much. Do these here. This one we'll bring up here. We'll have 3 little segments for cauliflower. Oh, more worms. Hi wormies. Hi friends. Feel free to give my plants some nutrients. Okay. I also have a little marigold here, which I'm going to do. One I'm going to put over here. Actually, I have the carrots here. I'm going to put him here. Sorry, I'm trying to think. Let's put this guy right here. The marigold is strictly to try to keep pests from eating my actual plants. Okay, Roma tomatoes next. This guy's in a pot. We're just going to put him in the ground. Move on to the next section. All right, we have a lot of stuff in the ground. You got to watch me plant it. Now we're gonna watch it grow. Starts out small, but it gets so big it becomes like a jungle back here. So this is Amanda. My back hurts, but we have stuff in the ground and we're gonna see how it goes. Talk to you later.